Hello everybody, welcome to another battle report. This is a rematch from the game that was only played yesterday. We got up at 8 AM this morning to play this game. That's commitment for you. So it's 4,500 points of dwarves against 4,500 points of demons. Small changes to the dwarven army. The king is now on shield bearers rather than on the big amount, I forget what it's called, and the ballista has been dropped to bring in more hold guardians. The demons list is just one I picked up at random. I wasn't sure about it because some of it doesn't really have a lot of synergy. It started out as an MSU list and then sort of gradually evolved and ended up sort of being a take-all-comers list a little bit, but my concern with it is that the horrors don't really synergize in terms of the magic that they dish out to the other units. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. Okay, so deployment then. We've got the scenario where we're going across the diagonal, and the secondary objectives are breakthrough. So just talking through the army lists then, on the dwarf side we've got the big unit of clan warriors here, the bigger hold guardians here, the smaller clan warriors, that's not a character there by the way, in the middle, then the big unit of greybeards with the Thane and the BSB in there, smaller unit of hold guardians here, this round disc is the Anvil of Power, organ gun here, and ballista here. The Dragon Seeker is ambushing. On the demon side, we've got the 5, what are they called? Sky Serpents here. 3 Sky Serpents here. 5 Clawed Fiends here. The Blazing Chariot, Harbinger of Change on a Blazing Chariot. The Horrors here. 5 Furies here. Big block of Telemen here. Another unit of 5 Furies here. Another unit of pink horrors here, the crushers here, and then the cannon on the side. So what I'm thinking to do here is to hold in the middle with this unit and to sort of sweep around the sides here with the crushers up onto the hill. I'm thinking maybe the fiends and the chariots perhaps up onto the hill. Delay with the furies in the middle and just support with shots and magic there, with the cannon coming around and the Sky Serpents and the Plaguelings going after the war machines. So let's see how it went. Okay, so Silas had deployed his whole army first, so he was going to get to go first. So you can see in the movement phase really he's just sort of moved up over that midway line and he's just approaching me. And that's it really. So this is the end of Silas's turn 1. Not a lot happened in the magic phase. I managed to get a Dispel off, which gave my Harbinger of Change +1 attack for the rest of the game because of a magic item that he's got. But other than that, basically Silas turned his war machines around and shot at the Plaguelings and caused a total of 4 wounds on them. And that was it. So my turn 1 movement phase then, no charges. The Plaguelings have marched here to close this gap here to 4 inches. Didn't want to take the charge, only had a 41% chance of making it. The Sky Serpents have gone over this unit here to threaten this, these artillery pieces. Dropped some strength 3 attacks on this unit but didn't do anything. Dancing around the hill over here, I know that he can't see me except on this quite long charge here, and I don't want to be charged by him. I've got 2 chariots down here, so I need to get both of these chariots charging into this unit. But the advantage that I have here is that both of these chariots have got long-ranged attacks which I can just pop off against these war machines. So Silas is going to have to come at me, or we're just going to have a standoff when I just get to use my bolt thrower / organ gun chariots. So let's see what happens there. In the middle, I've backed off with this Plague Bearer unit because this unit in the middle of Silas's line is absolutely insane. This is a core unit of troops who are strength 4 with great weapons who get +1 strength on charge. So that's a core unit of strength 7 troops, which is just bonkers. In there as well, he's also got his king, who is +1 toughness, so that makes him toughness 6. He gets to re-roll armor saves. He's got d6 +1 impact hits. He's strength 10 versus anything that's toughness 5 or more, which isn't a big deal today. But he is still strength 5 when he charges, and he does d3 wounds per attack. He's also got a hold stone in there, so the whole unit counts as having effectively no flank or rear and can support in any direction. And he's on shield bearers, and he's got a Thane in there as well, who has a total of 7 attacks from a rune combination, also at strength 5 when he charges. So this is just mad. So I'm deciding to back up here, and I'm thinking in time he might sort of approach me, and I might be able to use this hill here that you can see underneath the models there as a sort of a defensive point. I've dropped a unit of Furies down there in the middle. I'm wondering whether he'll charge me on the flank here, because I'm hoping that he'll get in his own way, bring this unit this way into the forest and sort of end up blocking his own units, but we'll see whether that will work or not. Chariot's headed out this way so it can take a pop shot at the anvil, and the crushers have come up onto the hill to threaten this unit here. Other than that, Furies have moved out of the way here so I can use them later on. A bit of sideways movement with these ones as well. Okay, so end of my magic phase then. It's not been a great one, to be fair. I got 6 and a 2 on the Winds of Magic, but he managed to dispel my first spell, and then I failed the second spell because Dwarf holds boost enemy casting values by 1, and then he managed to dispel my third spell as well. Blazing Chariot, one of them missed, the other caused 3 wounds on the Hold Guardians here. And that was the end of my turn 1. So, Silas's movement phase then. Down here, he's decided to stand still. I think he's wondering whether I will get impatient and come up the hill. I definitely won't, because I'm happy for us to stand here and for me to get the benefit of these long-range attacks if it keeps this Hold Guardian unit still, because they are just deadly. Weapon skill, okay, only 4, only 2 attacks, but strength 6 and d3 wounds per model. Really dangerous unit there, so I'm happy to just have a standoff there. In the middle here, he has double charged the Furies. Because of the Hold Guardian unit here, he couldn't close the door, which meant that I had to turn to close the door on him, which pulled these dwarves round this way a little bit. So the Hold Guardians have turned to receive this charge here, and the Dragon Seeker has come on the board edge over here, trying to threaten the cannon. That's the end of Silas's movement 2. Okay, so this is the end of Silas's turn 2 then. He got a 6 and a 3 on the magic phase, and he channeled. I got a dispel on one of his spells, so my Herald is now on +2 attacks for the rest of the game, but that's not a great thing because he's weapon skill 3, strength 3. He got the Rune of Shattering off and did a couple of wounds on the Sky Serpents. His first Organ Gun rolled an 11. Organ Guns do 2d6 shots times 2. So he got 22 shots from his Organ Gun, and I am told that dwarves are underpowered. Anyway, 22 strength 5 shots into the Plaguelings. You can see he's left 1 wound on the Plaguelings. And then this other Organ Gun rolled a 10, so 20 shots from this Organ Gun onto the Sky Serpents, and you can see the Sky Serpents are down to 1 wound as well. In the middle, the General did 6 + 1 impact hits and completely wiped out that unit, but that's fine because he was always going to wipe that unit out anyway. And then Silas has chosen to reform. I wondered whether he would pursue this way with this unit and bump into this unit and sort of get himself in a muddle, but he didn't, so fair play to him. He played this really well. He reformed in the middle here to sort of come out and round this unit so that this one can sort of head this way. I guess that's what he was doing anyway. So yeah, that is the end of Silas's turn 2. Okay, so on to my movement turn 2 then. Actually, before I get onto that, I should probably clarify that it's not Silas that's telling me that dwarves are underpowered. On the contrary, I think he's quite happy with just how strong they are. That's coming from the 9th Age forum. Anyway, on to my turn 2. So I've double charged this organ gun here. Both of these units are on 1 wound each, and I just didn't want to risk any sort of random stray attacks finishing them off. So I'm trying to go in there and blast it in one turn, or maybe if I'm lucky, it might sort of do no wounds and hold me in combat so I can finish it off next turn and then maybe go after either War Machine. We'll just have to see. Over here I'm sort of dancing around the hill, getting long range shots ready for maybe this organ gun or the anvil over here. In the middle here I decided to charge these dwarves on the flank. I was thinking charge, flank, rank, maybe 6 attacks. The champion's in there as well. He's on +1 to wound. He's got 2 attacks himself. So just see what happens there. Down the hill, charge here against these Hold Guardians. Everybody knows what I think about these. Strength 6, D3 wounds apiece. They're quite dangerous for this unit. But my hope is that +1 attack, +1 strength on the charge. I'm thinking maybe I can kill off 1, maybe 2 on the charge, and then take the attacks from the 1 or 2 that remain, and then finish them off with the initiative 2 crushers. We'll just have to see how that goes. But it was if this unit somehow held, then it would give my opponent a flank attack on my general's unit. So I dropped the unit Furies in the way here. That will allow him to go this way if he chooses to, but that's sort of away from my big block here, so I'm okay with that. I've turned this unit around here and I've turned the cannon around. I'm going to try and put a cannonball through him there and maybe finish him off with some shooting if it's necessary there. And that's the end of my movement turn 2. Okay, so end of my turn 2 then. So over here I've got a cannonball shot on the Dragon Seeker, which is always a danger when you're running a single model character. In the magic phase I've got a breath weapon on this unit as well, just in case it was necessary. Didn't think it would be, but I had nothing better to do after I got a breath weapon off on this unit. Only caused 1 wound on this unit. That was with a breath weapon and 7 attacks. So that hasn't really worked. I did win combat by 1, but the unit held BSBs in here, so it's probably a bit silly to go in, to be fair. Got 2 wounds on the organ gun from the Harbinger of Change, and then the Plaguelings and the Sky Serpent did a total of 4 wounds. It did kill the Plagueling unit off, which was the right choice on Silas's part. It's a lot more dangerous than the Sky Serpents. The organ gun broke, but of course that means that this Sky Serpent is as good as dead. And the Crushers smashed through the Hold Guardians here. Took a couple of wounds themselves, but yeah, it went as it should have done. Okay, on to Silas's movement turn 3 then. So Silas has stopped hanging around behind this hill now. He's realised he's got to try and flush me out over here, so he's brought this unit forwards here. I think he's made a mistake here because he's sort of bared down toward, what would he be? He's coming, he's bared right, which has exposed the flank of this unit to the chariots. He should have really bared left and got everything in on the front. But little thing. Clan Warriors have moved up over here. This big unit here has charged the Furies. That's got to be done really, got to get them out of the way. And that is it for Silas's movement. Okay, so this is the end of Silas's turn 3. You can see the organ gun turn around and blasted away that 1 remaining Sky Serpent. So I've got I've got the Crushers coming in here now to threaten the artillery pieces, but that's a bit of an underuse for them, but it's just how it is. You got Gleaming off on the Hold Guardians here, so I'm at -1 to hit them, but I'm thinking impact hits, weapon skill 5, it's not a massive problem. Ripped through the Furies, which was predictable. The Warriors had reformed by now, killed 2 Furies, and then 1 popped from the leadership test. Sorry, not Furies, Horrors. And that was it for Silas's turn 3. Okay, so my turn 3 then. I've charged this organ gun, want to get that out of the way first. I'm thinking that I can dispel the things that the Anvil of Power does, but the organ gun's just brutal. That being said, the only thing it could hit would be the Plague bearers over here, but still I want to get, sorry, Tallymen as they're now called, but I still want to get it out of the way. I've triple charged this Hold Guardian unit here, reformed over here so I can at least shoot at this unit and get a stand and shoot on it, which is a futile gesture because it is just immense, but there you go. And the cannon is moved up this way to pop off a cannonball shot perhaps at the Anvil of Power over here. The Tallyman unit is moved sideways. I'm thinking to keep out of the arc of vision of this big unit here, because if I can delay this unit, then I can perhaps make it through to the end of the game. I would rather this unit do nothing and not get into combat with this unit than for it to be advancing and trying to engage in combat, because everything else is largely being sorted and this unit has got absolutely no hope against this unit here. Okay, so end of my turn 3 then. At the top of the screen you can see that I ripped through the organ gun and overran into the ballista up here. Down here, beat the Hold Guardians just because of the impact hits which go before them, and then the initiative of the Fiends. Now, we weren't sure here how the overrun happened, because this unit of Fiends engaged the Hold Guardians on the front, and the 2 chariots engaged on the flank. Now, the Hold Guardians took the most wounds from the impact hits and the attacks of the chariots combined, so I said that that would mean that when the unit broke, which it did, then they would flee this way. What we then weren't sure of was, obviously these 2 units would then chase it this way, but this unit, would they chase diagonally to meet it, or would they go sideways? And that would matter, because if they went diagonally, they'd run into this unit. If they went sideways, then they wouldn't. We weren't sure, but I guessed that sideways would make sense, and we were running out of time a little bit by now, so I didn't want to go hunting for it in the rulebook. So anyway, that was the end of my turn 3 there, other than to say that I've got a Cleansing Fire, which is the breath weapon on this unit for later, and I did manage to take 4 wounds off of the anvil with the cannon, but that is it. Oh, sorry, in the middle here, I knew I'd missed something. In the middle here, this unit ripped through the pink horrors here. So the moral of this story is don't try and charge unit of clansmen with horrors, because you will die. We've missed a photo here, which is really annoying. Always seem to miss one at some point. But anyway, in Silas's movement phase, these dwarves were locked in combat, and so the chariots ran into them. He managed to kill 1, but the impact hits and the wounds from the 4 Sky Serpents and the Harbinger and the Exalted Flamer were enough to cause a break test, and he failed his steadfast on 11 with the BSB all the way up here. So that was that. Moved these warriors this way, and then charged into the horrors up here and completely ripped them to pieces. So that was Silas's movement and turn 4. Okay, so my movement 4 then, so the Fiends have done a sort of a massive swinging circle wheel type thing here with their 10-inch movement, so they can march 20. And the Chariot's just got up onto the hill, so I'm thinking I could charge down the hill here. I reformed this unit at the end of the last turn so it could charge on the anvil and finish that off, and then I've moved the cannon up here. Now, at this point in the game, if we assume that this unit Clan Warriors is dead, which it's clearly going to be, I'm actually winning 12-8, but I have to admit, Temptation got the better of me here, and I just wanted to see whether a flank charge and a rear charge and a front charge, and then maybe even the Chariot on the side or the Fiends on the side, I mean, I've got to go through the forest or whatever, can take out this unit or not. So I was winning at this point, and I definitely wouldn't do this in a competitive game, but I just couldn't resist the temptation of finding out. You'll see later on that this swung the game from a 12-8 in my favour to an 11-9 in Silas's favour, but take nothing from him because he did play well in this game and he made a lot of very sound decisions, so fair play to him. But anyway, that is the end of my movement phase. So, end of my turn then. I didn't take a magic phase because I've only got my one spellcaster left here, and he can only give a breath weapon to either himself or single models. The only single models and characters are here, here, and here, which are all out of breath weapon range. Didn't shoot because it's not worth risking the misfire on the cannon here to just take out a few dwarves. And the Crushers smashed through the anvil, and as I say, Temptation got the better of me and I overran there. So, bit of a funny turn 4 really, because not a lot going on. It's more danger to myself than actually to my opponent with what's on the board. So there you go, turn 4. Or 5. 5. Sorry, correct that. That was turn 4. This is turn 5. So Silas is turn 5 then. He's only done one thing in the movement phase, which is to declare a charge here. He needs to roll a 7 on the dice, but he fails his charge, gets a double 2, so he just moves 2 inches here. Okay, no photo from the end of Silas's turn 5 because there was nothing in combat, no shooting, no magic. So this is my movement 5, so you can see I've charged down the hill here onto these clansmen, I've moved up these Crushers and the Chariots and the Tallymen. I did wonder about whether now was the time to charge, but I wanted to wait for the Fiends to get in because I felt I needed every single advantage I could get against this unit. So I just backed off with the Tallymen here, wondering whether I can bait him into another failed charge. He's got a 46% chance of failing it, and I'm hoping that even if he makes it, then I don't think this unit will pop, because 25 Tallymen, toughness 4, parry, 5+ ward save, with poison. They're not bad for core troops. Certainly don't have strength 7 on the charge for core troops, but yeah, I'm thinking they should hold if they're charged. So, end of my turn 5 then, and you can see that the Fiends and the Chariots have smashed through the Clan Warriors, just leaving this big unit here in the middle, and have overran. The Chariot remarkably passed all of its dangerous terrains, going through the forest. The Fiends took a wound from the dangerous terrain in the forest, and 1 wound from the clansmen in the process. That's the end of my turn 5. So, Silas's turn 6 movement. Would you believe he was actually going to march this unit 9 inches, because they can do triple their movement when they march this unit. They were going to move 9 inches and just get out of the charge of this unit, but I talked Silas into charging me. I thought it was the right move for him, to be honest. So anyway, big charge here into this unit, but I do wonder whether it'll hold. Let's find out. So, the answer is no, they will not hold. In fact, this dwarf unit won combat by 15 points. It's got charge, standard, BSB, 3 ranks in it for 6, but it did 9 wounds on the Tallymen. he's got impact hits in there, and then he's got, I think, 5 attacks from his king at strength 5, 7 attacks from his thane at strength 5, and then he's got his core troops. Cannot believe they're core troops with great weapons and +1 strength when they charge. I mean, those things would actually wound a demon prince on 2s. It's mental. So yeah, that unit charged through there, and then clearly for my turn we didn't bother taking a photograph because everything's too far away. So we said we just finished the game there, and I just left these models as they were. So that was the end of the game, which Silas in the end, with the secondary objectives, won 11-9, so well done to him. So that's it, guys, for this one. I hope you enjoyed the battle report. Big learning point for me was that actually I thought that this unit got 1 of the victory secondary objective points. I thought it was 1 per scoring unit that you had in your opponent's deployment zone. Actually, it wasn't. Whoever's got the most in their opponent's deployment zone gets all 3. So that's quite a big learning point, because that swings your victory conditions an awful lot. We did also learn 1 or 2 things. Silas is new to this army himself, so we didn't realise that this unit actually only had a 5+ save in combat. That wouldn't have changed the outcome because there were just so many of them and they're so strong. But it's good to try new armies and find out more about them. So yeah, really enjoyable game. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.